game here at Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza. Referees tonight, Mark Lemelin and Darcy Burchell. Linesmen, Shandor Alfonso and Francis Trompe. Penguins will travel right to left on your radio dial. The Monarchs traveling left to right. The only game in the American Hockey League this evening as the Wolfpack, Bears, Ice Hogs, Griffins, Barons, and Comets all get after it tomorrow night with their respective series. One game in the NHL this evening. A big game for the Tampa Bay Lightning as they look to finally close things out against the Montreal Canadiens, leading that series 3-2. And Game 6 at Amalie Arena down in Tampa Bay. Andrew Ebbett out there between Tom Kostopoulos and Connor Sheary. Penguins trying to keep their postseason alive. Wheel against Ebbett in the face-off circle. And the puck is dropped, and we are underway as the face-off controlled by Sheary. He'll get it back to the blue line to be picked up by Harrington. Over to McNeil, he'll feed it. Up to Kostopoulos, kicked over to Sheary, and it's Sheary backhanding in for Kostopoulos, thwarted by Bodnarchuk, and now it's loose at center. Backhanded in by Brian O'Neill. Reed McNeil spins around the dasher for Sheary. Pinch in by Laverde will hold the puck on side for Manchester. And now McNeil away from the forecheck, flipped up the wall, and again wheeled there to intercept. This time it's Kostopoulos muscling it away, chipping in for Ebbett. Ebbett and Laverde, they chase after the loose puck. Ebbett turns off the dasher, cycle pass deep for Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos near corner, leaves off for Sheary. He cuts away from Michael Mersch. Sheary around Berube's net. Sheary tried a power move towards her front, lost control of the puck, and now battle ensues, far boards. Kicked over by Mersch. Kostopoulos gets a body in on him. The puck is controlled by the Monarchs defense. Laverde, the captain for the Monarchs, pushes it the other way. Rowney, fresh off the bench, gathers his puck in the neutral zone, and now Rowney almost stripped off by Wheel, but he's able to get by, and now the Penguins are onside. Quick shot by Uer, and that's blockered away by Berube. Rowney off the dasher, looking for a point pass instead. Sends it deep in the trap, away for Kuhnhackl. Had Uer loose in front, couldn't find him with the centering feed, and the Monarchs will dump it all the way down. They wave off icing as Dumoulin eats a check from Nick Shore, and now a turnover here by the Penguins. Miller pushes back in the corner, and it bounces off a stick around for Dumoulin. And Rowney, he's got some time and space as he loops out from behind Murray's net. Rowney will lift it high up in the air. Still, the puck clangs around in the Manchester zone. Uer able to hold on side. Good forecheck here by the third-year pro, but he overskated the puck along the dasher. And the Monarchs have possession once again. Swung to the red line for sure. Low shot, sticked aside by Murray. And both teams will go for a change with almost 2 minutes off the clock here in the first period. Now a turnover by Pouliot. Stuffed in front, backhand shot, scores. 2 minutes in, a turnover by the Penguins, and Adrian Kempe puts the Monarchs ahead for the 7th time in this postseason.
Adrian Kempe with his second goal here of the postseason. And when you talk about turnovers, we've discussed the no margin for error. Pouliot with the turnover and fed right in front for Kempe, who scores the goal on Matt Murray. Certainly not the start the Penguins wanted. Just 2-0-1. We talked about the quick strikes of the Manchester Monarchs in this postseason and what it's meant for them. The Penguins find themselves in the same position that they were in Game 4, down 1-0 here early at Mohegan Sun Arena.
Kempe gets his second of the postseason, and the Monarchs have a lead in the opening 2 minutes for the 4th time. Delayed offside here on the ensuing faceoff against the Penguins. They'll touch up. And we'll listen in to Bobby Day.
And Kempe is second of the playoffs. Assist to number 16, Sean Backman. Time of the goal, 2:01.
So Backman gets a lone assist. The Penguins failed on the clear-out, and Backman finds Kempe all alone in front. Now the Penguins trying to put some pressure in the offensive zone. Unable to sustain that as Forbert will circle back behind his net. His pass over to Gravel couldn't be handled cleanly by the defenseman. Russ tries to come through the pile. Couldn't pick up the puck in the process, and it's Backman swinging high off the glass out to center ice. Farnham, he is coming off the bench, and now he'll control at center and dump down low to complete a line change for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Bobby receiving the chance from section 108, and I'm sure several other sections in that area of Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza. Farnham, Kapanen, and D together here for a 4th line for John Hines and Lane Nashdeen. McNeil behind Murray's net. Dinks it over for Harrington, and now it's Harrington outletting for Jean-Sebastian D. D onside as he flips near corner. Kapanen and Laverde give chase. Kapanen gets a body in on his man. McNeil kicks it back down low. No one in the area except for the Monarchs defense. Bondarchuk sends it high up the glass over the head of Harrington. This will not have the speed for icing. McNeil banks it up now for D. D has to reset, and he'll leave off for Harrington. Harrington knifes it over for McNeil. McNeil, return pass for Harrington. Kostopoulos free, right side. Ebbett also loose at center ice, and Ebbett will swat it into the Manchester zone. Berube around the boards for Laverde. Kostopoulos with a shot up high on O'Neill, so that's some physical play there from the Penguins captain. Wheel leaned in on by Ebbett. Dumoulin as well. Now Mersch cuts away from Chorney. Back to point for Miller. That slap shot went whistling wide, and it bounces back to Schultz at the point. Mersch and Ebbett go in the corner. Again, good, tough physical defense by the Penguins veterans as Wheel now eludes Dumoulin. Wheel from the goal line. Tried to feather that one in front. Intercepted by the Penguins. Now Sheary up ice, trying to win a race against Schultz. Sheary fires. Shoulder save by Berube. And Huer off the bench. He'll try and skate through the scrum. Too many Monarchs in the way as Sheary continues to forecheck. And now it's Goers picking up a loose puck. Goers. He'll dump it around the wall. Pouliot, he puts a shoulder in on O'Neill, and that will jostle that puck free for Rowney. Goers over to Ware. Trying to stick it up for Pouliot, but couldn't get that one deep. Now Justin Auger, the rookie from the Guelph Storm, made it to the Memorial Cup last season where he lost out to Tristan Jarry's Edmonton Oil Kings. Turns it over at center ice. The Penguins dump in, unable to collect that loose puck. Quickly out to the neutral zone once again by the Monarchs as we approach 5 minutes played in the first. It's 1-0 Manchester. Pouliot to the left wall for Rowney. He's across the Blue Cross blue line. Rowney all the way across the zone for Goers. Goers in the high slot for Harrington. His shot in on Berube, kicked wide by Kuhnhackl. Short chance to clear. He'll be helped along by Auger. Auger, hard pass in the neutral zone. Couldn't be handled by David Vandergulik. The Penguins will take this opportunity for a line change. And now it's Rust, who has 2 goals in 2 games, driving down the right side. Rust hits the brakes along the half wall, gets to the blue line for Harrington. His wrist shot goes off the rear dasher, bounces in front, and no one can pick it up for the Penguins. It's Harrington and McNeil regrouping at center ice. Magna will lead into the far corner. Drzenovic and Bondarchuk. Good battle there. And it's poked along for Rust. Rust trying to get it back to Drzenovic. Drzenovic along the dasher, maintains possession. His point pass intercepted by Adrian Kempe. Now maybe 2-on-1 here for the Monarchs. Centering pass, Backman right there, but couldn't get the clean shot in on net. Still loose in the offensive zone for the Monarchs. Dowd off the dasher. His wrist shot goes through a screen, and a blocker save is made by Murray. So Forbert, his wrist shot kicked aside by Drzenovic. Comes right back to Backman. And up top it comes once again for Forbert. His flip pass intercepted by Drzenovic. So Nick Drzenovic with a good shot block, not once but twice for the Penguins. And he's obviously invested in the result of this game. 13:40 remaining in the first. The Monarchs have the early lead thanks to Adrian Kempe's goal. 2 minutes and 1 second in. Up the wall it comes to center ice. Monarchs on a delayed offsides. Now they touch up. Dumoulin and Crescenzi cancel each other out. Horvat, low shot stopped by Murray. Puck cleared in behind the net. Now swung up the wall. Kept in by Schultz. Schultz. He'll whisk one down low. That's intercepted by Chorney. Now 3-on-2 for the Penguins. Captain far side. He'll fire. And a stick save made by Berube. Farnham now bats around the dasher. Schultz away from the forecheck of Captain. Puck in behind Berube. Comes free to D. D shot stopped by Berube. D will get it back. Swept away from him. And the Monarchs able to elude danger right there. They'll ice out to center ice, but Pouliot into the path. And so no icing will ensue. Pouliot stretch pass for D. He'll dump and change. Good action here in the first period, though the Penguins trail 1-0. It's Mersch through center ice, left corner, trying to dump and chase himself with his teammates following behind him. Now Wheel and Kostopoulos. They tangle up, centering pass by Wheel, easily picked off by Ebbett. Soft pass finds the Penguins captain. He is onside along with Ebbett. Ebbett, Forbert, O'Neill, Sheary all dig after it behind Berube's net. And it's finally dug out by Forbert. And no backhand over to Wheel. Rink wide for Mersch. Mersch forced back out to center ice by a good stick check by Reed McNeil. And Bondarchuk. He'll lift the cross corner and get this top line for the Monarchs a change. So the Penguins have done a pretty good job of nullifying the top line of the Monarchs so far, Colin. Rowney out to center ice. Huer, Kuhnhackl 2-on-2. Now Auger making it 2-on-3. Huer, far corner. He eats a check from Laverde. And now Huer tried to pass one across the zone for Dumoulin. Rowney unintentionally got in the way. And Auger, he is shoved off by Dumoulin. Huer quickly back in his own end. to gather that loose puck. To Rowney it comes. Rowney, saucer pass through center for Kunakl. Kunakl gets by his man. Kunakl front. Save made by Berube, and the rebound comes back towards the net. And we're going to have a penalty here on the Manchester Monarchs as Kunakl got hooked from behind. The puck crossed the goal line, but the whistle had firmly sounded by that point. Colin, your thoughts before we take a break?
Some great action back and forth for the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins. And get an opportunity here, but you look at Kapanen and D and then Kunakl there, some scoring chances. The Penguins are charging down 1-0 here in the first.
And with that, 11:34 remaining in the first period. We're going to take a break. When we return, maybe a goal to be reviewed on WILK News Radio.
Welcome to Master Travel, your one-stop center for all your corporate and leisure travel needs. We offer you the lowest rates in the area with no additional service fee for our expertise. Our certified cruise counselors, Disney, and group tour specialists will help you plan your family vacation, cruise, or honeymoon. We offer all-inclusive packages and more. For personal service and attention to every last detail of your trip, just call Master Travel today.
So the puck went across the goal line, clearly as they show on the replay here at Mohegan Sun Arena. But the question has to be, and the final verdict also has to be, that the whistle had blown and the play was dead before that puck found its way past Jean-Francois Berube.
And I think number 29, the Air Captain Tommy Kostopoulos, wanted an explanation, and now the official's coming over and talking to head coach John Hines as he wants an explanation as well. But he's saying it's a quick whistle, and he thought that the goalie, Berube, had the puck under him, so he blew the whistle, so that's what he's giving the explanation to John Hines. Regardless, the Penguins will be on the power play here, and this is a power play in the postseason that ranks first, Obi, with 9 goals and 29 chances, 31%. So last night, this was a point where the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins were down 1-0. They had 3 power plays in a row, gave up the shorthanded to put them down 2-0. Here's another, again, a golden opportunity for the Penguins in this first period. Down a goal, 11:34 to go with the man advantage.
Ebbett out there with Sheary, Kostopoulos, Dumoulin, and Pouliot. Ebbett able to win the faceoff. Sheary, though, will jostle it down low for Kostopoulos. Miller rifles that one off the wall, and it goes all the way down. So Colin Miller making no mistake on the clearing attempt right there after a good stalemate in the draw for the Monarchs and Penguins. Ebbett up the left side. He'll swing around the wall. Berube goes to stop it behind his net. Successful in that attempt. Trying to lift out the center. Only finds Brian Dumoulin. Now Dumoulin into the trapezoid for Sheary. Right side for Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos hard around the wall for Sheary. Sheary near corner. To the point. He'll feed it for Dumoulin. He walks across the blue line. Gives up to Pouliot. Pouliot wrist in. Tipped in on Berube, and it goes rattling along the crease. Sheary trying to dig it out. Pouliot will help him along. Dumoulin, wrist shot off the shin of Vandergulik out the center ice, and again the shot blocking prowess of the Monarchs showing itself here in Game 5. Kostopoulos out of the far corner. In front for Sheary. Clicks off a skate, goes up towards the blue line, and Ebbett unable to race after it to keep it onside. We're already past the midway point of a very fast-moving man advantage here for Wilkes-Barre-Scranton. Second power play unit will give it a go. Kapanen and Rust, Magna, Chorney, and soon to be Kunakl. Kapanen going coast to coast. Around the net, he'll skate it. To the point for Chorney. Chorney over to Kunakl. Kunakl for Chorney. Now he tried to fake the shot, and it's poked off of his stick by Crescenzi. Crescenzi one-on-one against Chorney. And Kapanen shoves him off the puck. Good work by the 18-year-old rookie. Kunakl with 25 seconds remaining here in the man advantage. Right wing pass for Rust. To the point for Chorney. Chorney, wrist shot blocked again by the Monarchs. Poked back to the point for Chorney. Chorney over to Kunakl. Trying to bat it around the boards for Kapanen. Good intercept by Murch. And Murch will just split the defense with a clearing attempt that goes all the way down.
Obi, you look at this Manchester Monarchs penalty kill. They do a great job keeping their sticks down, getting in passing lanes, and blocking shots. They do everything possible to try to slow down the Penguins' power play.
9:28 remaining in the first period. It's 1-0 Monarchs as the Manchester Monarchs back to full strength. Duaire had a potential 2-on-1 but couldn't handle the bouncing puck. And out the center it'll come. Shot back in by McNeil. He gets laid out by Brian O'Neill in the process. Brian O'Neill showing some good physical play despite playing his collegiate hockey at Yale University. But if Bobby Farnham is any example of what you can expect from the Ivy League, well, then that's typical. Farnham, a graduate of Brown, and apparently Yale, no stranger to the physical stuff either. As McNeil now loose at center ice. Across his own blue line for Drzenovic. Drzenovic trying to feather on in. Too hard for Uwer to handle, and it's Rowney. Unable to poke it off the stick of a stick-handling defenseman, Derek Forbert. He'll dump in. Murray waits for it to come into the trapezoid. Goers back around the wall for Rowney. Rowney with Gravel pinching down low. Feeds it up top. Weak shot coming in from Shore easily. Played aside by Murray, and it's McNeil to Pouliot. Ricochets off of him. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Vandergulik. Now he turns it over to Rowney, who will get his team a change. 8:17 remaining in the first. 1-0 Manchester. And Vandergulik, rink wide. Picked off by Shore as that pass may have been intended for Zach O'Brien. It matters not as the Monarchs are onside, but they don't have possession. Shore make that Goers up for Farnham. Taken now by Goers after a delayed offside here on Manchester. Pouliot near circle of his own end. Across for Goers. Up the far boards, he'll take it. Goers dumping and chasing himself. Goers. Farnham and Kaplan. Now it's down. Never saw Kaplan coming until the last second and deftly plays it along for Bodnarchuk. Bodnarchuk trying to find some options. Instead only finds the skates of Dowd. He takes a check, but still able to push that puck deep in the process. Chorney rims off the wall for Kaplan. Kaplan thought he had Sheary breaking down the left side. Instead, it's Miller regaining possession in the Monarch side of the ice. Now Schultz over to Kempe. He'll lead in for Dowd. Nice swat away there by Uwer, but Ebbett's pass intended for Sheary stepped in front of by Dowd. And now it's up ice for O'Brien. He'll poke it by Chorney, but not by Dumoulin, who raced over to hold on, rather to get it deep over for Tom Kostopoulos. Sheary. His bank pass. Knocked back down towards Murray's net, and it's Chorney and Dumoulin attempting once again to clear out the center ice. Ebbett. He'll fling in the zone, caught up to by Sheary. Sheary contending with the referee in the near corner. And now Gravel able to get off in defense. Quick shot by Ebbett. Off a centering pass by Kostopoulos, and Berube makes a nice save. McNeil across blue line for Harrington. Quick shot, and Berube save is made again. Rebound swatted away and shot down the ice by Horvath. This puck will die before it crosses the icing line. Ebbett down behind the play. And Ebbett slow to get to his feet. Not sure what happened there behind the play, but Ebbett trying to get his wits about him as Jason Magna comes over to check on his teammate and veteran center.
Ebbett took a shot along the boards there. Obi getting slow getting up, but he's skating along to the bench, hunched over. Hopefully Andrew Ebbett is okay and continuing this game. But for the Penguins, 8 shots on goal. They're doing it with 5-on-5. Not much yield in the power play. Still down 1-0 here in the first.
And with that, we will take a break. When we return, we'll have the rest of your first period on WILK News Radio.
Cross Valley Federal Credit Union. Your community credit union is a full-service financial institution insured by the NCUA. If you live, work, worship, or go to school in Luzerne, Lackawanna, or Wyoming counties, become a member today. Visit any of their 9 locations or online at crossvalleyfcu.org.
Modern Family all week long. Monday, get up.
I get up at 6.
I get up at 5.
Seriously, I get up at 6.
That's you? I thought we had a raccoon.
Tuesday, mess up.
If I had a nickel for every time I puked at school, you know how much money I'd have?
25 cents.
Exactly.
Wednesday, dress up.
You're not wearing a fedora, Phil.
Thursday, look up.
I found a dead snake. Not
10 seconds.
Friday, hook up.
Do you believe in love at first sight, or should I walk in again?
Modern Family, nightly.
Weeknights at 6 and 6:30 on Fox 56.
Fans, tonight's presenting sponsor is Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer, official beer partner of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Andrew Ebbett, after being shaken up on that last play, he remains on the bench. And this draw will come to the right of Matt Murray. He's had a quiet first period, save for the first 2 minutes of play as a face-off won by the Penguins. McNeil out to center ice for Kuhnhackl, and now up ice for Uwer. He's shoved off by Bondarchuk, but Uwer stays strong on the play. Kuhnhackl digging after along with Laverde. Bondarchuk, he is crunched hard by Kuhnhackl. Now it's Rowney holding along the dasher, backhanding deep for Uwer. Uwer and Laverde, they battle down low. Rowney looking to get this one to the point. Fan on the pass, and now poked off of his stick by O'Neill. Rowney able to get it back, and he flips over to Kuhnackel, who's checked off in the trapezoid by Bondarchuk. Rowney able to dig it away, trying to feed one off the wall to himself. Now a crunching check again, this time on O'Neill, and this top line being hammered every time they're on the ice. Kicked over to Rowney. Rowney looking for a point pass. It kicks off a skate. Harrington will glove it down low. This will be a hand pass on the Penguins, but Bondarchuk will touch up first. And it's O'Neill chipping by Rowney, starting up with some numbers here for Manchester. It's Mersch trying to drop off the wall for O'Neill. Does so. Plays it towards the front of the nets. No one there for the Monarchs. It's Rust out for Magna. Magna stood up at the blue line by Laverde, and Schultz circles back to his own end. Magna trying to play physical on him. D held the puck inside the blue line, but it's Vander Gulik transitioning now for Manchester. Manchester takes a drop pass at Shore with a wrist shot, and he scores. And so Manchester makes it 2-0. Nick Shore doubling the Monarchs' lead with 5:03 remaining in this first period.
Nick Shore with his second goal of the postseason, and Vander Gulik, who scored a couple goals in the last couple games, comes up with the assist here. The nice drop back pass for Nick Shore, who beats Matt Murray to give the Manchester Monarchs now a 2-0 lead here in the first period. 6 shots on goal. 2 of them have found their way past Matt Murray.
And a laser from Nick Shore from the far circle after a nice drop pass. No one picked up Shore trailing late in the play, and really it looked like that play developed after a failed keep-in at the Monarchs blue line by the Penguins, and unfortunately that's going to do it for Matt Murray after just 14 minutes and 57 seconds of play. So maybe a goalie change will help spark this team as Jeff Zatkoff, the veteran, comes in relief for the second straight game.
Yeah, Matt Murray, again, heading right into the locker room. Head coach John Hines trying to do anything tonight, again, to spark his team. And if that means a change in goalie, that is exactly what he's going to do here in the first period. The fans giving Jeff Zatkoff a nice warm welcome. This is a veteran goaltender that has done some great things for the Penguins since joining the roster. And now here with 5:03 left here in this first period, the Penguins, again, in this elimination game, down 3-1 in this series, the head coach of the Penguins, John Hines, calling on Jeff Zatkoff to make sure the Monarchs don't find another one in the goal.
So the 2-goal lead for the Manchester Monarchs for a second consecutive game. The Penguins forced to come from behind, also for the second straight game. And the Penguins now looking to break up by Sheary. Ebbett, 2-on-2, flip pass left side for Ebbett. He'll fire. Berube stacks the pads and makes the save. Miller around the boards, out for Vander Gulik, and he'll get it as far as the red line before Dumoulin slaps in the zone. Eludes the shoulder check of Justin Auger in the process. Monarchs out to center. Miller over for Dowd. Batted away from him by Pouliot. And now it's D circling in front of his net. Again, Zatkoff in net now for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Forbert swings up by Farnham, has it, but at the laid offside as D was still inside the zone, forces Farnham back out to the neutral zone. Farnham backhands on in, though, after regrouping. Farnham with a spinning hit in on Forbert, sending the defenseman down the ice. Now Farnham gets tripped up by Dowd. Play carries on. Captain up towards the point, trying to get that one deep, but Dowd able to intercept that one along the dasher, and it's across center for Backman. Backman stepped in front of by Pouliot. Goers comes over to gather for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Out from behind his own net, and it's Kapanen. Nice chip pass for Pouliot. Rookie to rookie here as Pouliot across the blue line. His wrist shot saved with the glove by Berube, and he will wait for the whistle. 3:31 remaining until the intermission. Jeff Zatkoff trying to stretch out and get warmed down in the Wilkes-Barre Scranton zone. We will take a break and try and stay warm as well as the Penguins look to catch up on WILK News Radio.
At McCarthy Tire and Service Centers, we have some impressive numbers. After 87 years, we're the 7th largest commercial tire dealer in the U.S. with over 40 locations in 7 states. Right? So what? Well, the numbers just mean you can always count on a huge selection of tires, ASE certified repair and service, and most of all, you can count on us handling every repair and service as if it was for our own family. Locations in Wilkes-Barre, Kingston, Hazleton, and Scranton, or online at McCarthyTire.com. McCarthy Tire, count on us.
Welcome back. PNC Bank is proud to support the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins and equally proud to support financial achievement here in Northeast Pennsylvania. Find out more Visit pncvirtualwallet.com. PNC for the achiever new. PNC Bank National Association member FDIC. The Penguins down 2-0 after Adrian Kempe and Nick Shore have each scored their second goal of the postseason. Wilkes-Barre-Scranton able to nullify or at least stymie for the time being the top line, but now the depth of the Monarchs affecting the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins.
You took the words right out of my mouth. They're being more physical with that top line, and that's keeping them really from getting their offense going, but it's the depth on the other side for the Manchester Monarchs that is really showing now, giving them this 2-0 lead. But watching head coach John Hines behind that bench, you would think to himself, you know, what is he saying his team? Very encouraging, going up and down the bench again during that timeout in order to tell his team, just stick with it, come on. It's plenty of time left in this hockey game. You got 3:27 to go here in this first period and only down 2 goals.
Face-off will come to the left of Berube. Rowney, Kunako, Nuer together. McNeil and Harrington. And Shore will win the face-off in the defensive zone. Nuer on the forecheck, but nice lead pass along for Wheel. Wheel, O'Neill, and Shore together as Wheel skates onside. Wheel, far side dasher, all the way to the blue line. His pass kicks off a skate. Kunako couldn't get there before Shore will lay it back into the Penguins' end. McNeil out from behind Zakov's net. McNeil past Brian O'Neill, and it's McNeil rimming into the Manchester end. Berube stops things for Gravel. Gravel patient with the puck, reverses around for Forbert, and Forbert sauces out the center. McNeil there to glove it down, shoot back in, and the Penguins will touch up. Gravel tries once again here for Manchester. Murch on the line with O'Brien. It looks like soon to be perhaps Nick Dowd, but Mike Stellers will handle the line change, and we'll get back to calling the action. Dumoulin from the red line. Swats off a Forbert. Puck still loose, and it looks like it deflected off a Monarchs player on the bench. A little bit of a weird play, but a stoppage will ensue nevertheless with 2:28 remaining until the intermission.
17 shots on goal in this first period, Obi. 11 of them belong to the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins, but they find themselves in a 2-0 hole in this elimination game, really, against the Manchester Monarchs. Manchester's come out, and they've taken advantage of miscue and just gone on the attack against the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins. Now has chased Matt Murray here in this first period.
Chorney from the red line. Now he slaps off the rear dasher. Miller has to go off the heel of his stick. Berube right there, still loose as Kostopoulos able to knock it free, but the whistle came from the far referee who was not positioned to see that. But maybe Berube did have the cover when Kostopoulos came on in and able to poke that out from under the mitt of the Manchester netminder.
Berube solid again. I mean, a game last night in which he made some key saves and key moments against the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins. Tonight, he's already faced 11 shots in this first period and really outdoing the rookie netminder and Matt Murray again, who's been replaced by Jeff Zadkoff here in game number 5.
Ebbett against Shore. Ebbett looked like he had the face-off one, but a funny carom doesn't work out for the Penguins. It's Dowd through the legs of Sheary out to the neutral zone for Sean Backman. And now he'll fish into the zone where it's collected by Dumoulin. Ebbett, nice pass to find Chorney streaking through center ice. Drop pass for Sheary. Now hard pass off of Kostopoulos' stick. Goes back behind Berube's net. Miller looks to clear. Instead, D. He'll hold on side for Kostopoulos. Deep now it comes for Sheary. In front for D. Defended well by Dowd. Dumoulin will swat it along the wall. Dowd never saw Kostopoulos coming, but still feels the pressure coming from behind and clears the zone. Dumoulin sends up for D. Sheary wants to trail in the play, but needs to head to the bench for a line change. D leaves it deep for Magna. Magna cuts away from Miller. Now drop pass for Pouliot. Pouliot, D, Russ all go after it near side. Drug away from pressure by Miller. D trying to continue the pressure in on him. This will be an icing attempt, looks like, here on Miller, and the whistle will indeed come with 76 seconds remaining in this first period.
When you look at the keys, Jeep keys to the game, Obi, you come out with it and you see the first one scoring first. The Manchester Monarchs were able to do that, take advantage, and play a clean game and execute. The Monarchs have been able to take advantage of a miscue. And you look at the leading of the veteran leadership, you see guys like Kostopoulos and Ebbett and Drzenovic out there trying to lead by example. The Penguins still find themselves down 2 goals here in this opening period.
Pouliot He'll fire down low after an offensive zone face-off win by the Penguins. Goers slaps in the corner. Rust in deep now for D. D checked to the wall hard by Miller. Puck trapped under the Penguins forward. Magna trying to drag it away. 1 minute remaining in the first period. 2-0 Manchester. D, good battle against Miller, far corner. Kicked along. D now swings deep for Magna. Miller cut that off. Magna in turn gets in the way of the defenseman. Rust comes through. He knocks Miller down. Magna being held from behind. Now it's Rust. Back to the blue line. Kicked aside. Comes to Goers nevertheless. And now he'll send around the wall for Rust. Rust for Magna. Good taxing shift here by the Penguins as Rust trying to find Rowney at the point. Lost it out to center ice, and the Penguins forced to regroup. The Monarchs will get a partial change. Less than a half minute remaining in the first period. Rowney far corner. Cuts away from Schultz. Now trying to reverse direction against the big Monarchs defenseman and does so. Harrington's wrist shot from the point deflected wide. Kuhnhackl picks back up. Turnaround shot goes off the outside of the net, and it's Uwer. Near side, 9 seconds remaining. Turnaround shot. Berube makes a save, and he gets a cover as Kuhnhackl just could not get to that loose puck fast enough.
Kuhnhackl's eyes widened big time. He saw that loose puck in front of Berube, who just sold out, laid out in order to cover that puck to make sure that the Penguins didn't get a golden scoring opportunity right at their doorstep. With 6.5 to go here in this first period, Berube sharp again for the Manchester Monarchs, making it very difficult on this Penguins offense.
For all that offensive zone time, still the shot clock stays at 11. 6.5 seconds remaining in the first period. The Monarchs have a 2-0 lead, and maybe that's indicative as the Monarchs, though the Penguins have had ozone pressure, have really kept everything to the outside. Ebbett, Sheary, and Kostopoulos looking to make hay in the final 7 seconds of this first period. Sheary takes the face-off win, can't get a shot off, cleared to the sidewall. Dumoulin with one last chance, comes into Berube, and he makes the save as the horn sounds. So Adrian Kempe giving the Monarchs a 1-0 lead, 2:01 into the first, and then Nick Shore doubling that margin with 5 minutes remaining until the first intermission, and that's where we stand after 20 minutes of hockey. The Monarchs leading 2-0, the uphill climb. Exactly that for the Penguins.
Yeah, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, again, go in after this first period, having to dig themselves out of a hole and in a situation now where it's either win tonight or your season comes to an end. So now it's about the coaching staff going in there and telling the players, look, we got to find a way to get back in this hockey game, and it starts with the next 20 minutes. 12 shots on goal. The chances were there, but for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, they just could not get it past Berube and find themselves down 2-0 here at the end of one period.
And with that, we will take a break. When we return, some news coming out of the American Hockey League. A new divisional alignment for the AHL for the 2015-16 season. Some familiar opponents will find themselves outside what was the East Division, and some new rivals upcoming for the Penguins next season. We'll break that down and the first period of play and more when we come back during the Coors Light Intermission Report on WIOK News Radio. Next year in the American Hockey League, the divisions, the entire league will have a vastly different look as the new division alignment for 2015-16 announced just about 3 hours ago. And rest in peace, East Division. No longer the East Division, the American Hockey League, as what was 6 divisions in the AHL for the past decade. Now back down to 4 divisions. The Atlantic Division will feature the Bridgeport Sound Tigers, the Hartford Wolfpack, the Hershey Bears, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, the Portland Pirates, the Providence Bruins, the Springfield Falcons, and your Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. The North Division will feature all the New York teams: Albany, Binghamton, Rochester, Syracuse, and Utica, St. John's, and Toronto also in that North Division. So Binghamton no longer going to be a division rival, but I have the feeling that you're probably going to see them more than a couple times on the Penguins schedule.
I'm sure you'll see that. What a great rivalry that's been over the years, whether it's been during the regular season or in the postseason. Some great storied battles between the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins and the Binghamton Senators. But look, this is a part of sports where changes are made, and you look at that new division for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, some great organizations in there, some great storied organizations that the Penguins will be facing. So, certainly an exciting time. It's always tough to close the chapter on the East Division, but there's a new chapter, a new book beginning, and it's going to be exciting to see some of these teams more often than not on the Penguins schedule. Springfield, Portland, teams you face maybe once or twice out of the year, you'll face them more. So exciting, certainly, looking at those two divisions.
And it goes to show the dramatic landscape, not only also in the NHL, but now in the AHL, that they're shifting to accommodate and match the West Coast NHL teams, and rightfully so. The Pacific Division has already been announced, a new Pacific Division. We thought it was just going to be the California teams, but now we see the Texas Stars and, San Antonio Rampage joining the likes of the Bakersfield Condors, the Ontario Reign, the San Diego Gulls, the San Jose Barracuda, and the Stockton Heat. So a new Pacific Division, 7 teams there. The Central Division will be Charlotte, Chicago, Grand Rapids, Iowa, Lake Erie, Manitoba, Milwaukee, and Rockford. So all those Central North American teams all bunched together, and it'll be good to see the likes of Toronto and Utica, Rochester again. Maybe we see the Providence Bruins, Springfield Falcons, for an example, a few times more. But Pennsylvania and New England, now kind of your northeast corridor of hockey for that Atlantic Division.
And it's exciting, Obi. I mean, again, you look at it, Bridgeport Sound Tigers, a team that the Penguins have faced, again, in the past. The Hershey Bears, you always know that the Penguins and the Bears, you have to be matched up in division. But, Lehigh Valley Phantoms certainly opening their new arena and being right down the Pennsylvania Turnpike. I got that right this time. And then you look at the North Division.
I did the same thing beginning of the season. You just get so focused on I-81, 476.
But you look at the North Division, too, and I remember battles of Rochester Americans when I first started covering the team back in 2006, 2007. You see Utica on there. So, some great budding rivals. But you said it right, Obi. You look at the way sports is going now, and you can form those great rivalries if you keep the teams playing each other a lot more often where they are geographically. So for American League Hockey League President and CEO Dave Andrews, certainly an exciting announcement today and something for all the fans of the AHL, and certainly the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins to look forward to.
The Penguins trail the Monarchs 2-0 after a goal by Adrian Kempe, his second of the postseason, coming 2:01 in the first. The Monarchs scoring first for the 7th time this postseason. They're 6-0 in those other contests when going up 1-0. Meanwhile, Nick Shore doubled the Manchester Monarchs lead. 14:57 of the first. David Vandergulik with the assist, the lone tally on Nick Shore's second of the playoffs as well. Matt Murray pulled from the contest. Jeff Zakoff in net now for the Penguins, trying to keep it at least a 2-goal deficit as the Penguins try and rally and force a Game 6 on Friday at Manchester. We'll take a break. When we return, Colin and I will have your second period of play on WIOK News Radio. Hello and welcome back to Mohegan Sun Arena at Casey Plaza. Penguins trailing 2-0 to Manchester as we begin the second period of play. Ebbett, Kostopoulos, Sheary, McNeil, and Harrington on the ice as Wilkes-Barre Scranton now traveling left to right on your radio dial. Ebbett and Wheel will false start on the drop. They'll set up again, and it's controlled by Manchester as the second 20 minutes of hockey has officially begun. Stretch pass by the Monarchs, no one home there. Icing will come 9 seconds into the second. An offensive face-off will ensue for the Penguins. So what do you think John Hines had to say to the troops down there during the first intermission, Colin?
I think the John Hines probably stressed the importance of, look, we got 40 minutes left in this hockey game. It's only a 2-goal deficit, but I can bet that he probably leaned on his veteran leadership within that locker room as well to look around that room and talk to those younger players and stress the importance of what they'll need to do in the next 20 minutes to kind of climb out of this 2-0 hole. And that's, look, we've got 13 shots on goal here now in this second period. We've had our chances. We have to find a way to finish.
Face-off will come to the left of Berube. Evans against Wheel once again. And Wheel will win another one as it's chipped in behind the net for Bodnarchuk. Flung along and bounces back over to Murch. Now chipped over for Laverde. He waits and holds. Sends high off the glass. Harrington contested by Wheel. Sheary will gain possession, being the third man in, and it's McNeil out from the Wilkes-Barre Scranton side of things. Now setting him deep for Harrington as the Penguins rush, looking to get set up. Kostopoulos high off the glass. Ebbett, who got shaken up during the first period, looks like he is okay. Nice backhand pass through center for Sheary, but a better poke check away by Miller, And it's Vander Gulick along with O'Neill and Wheel. O'Neill, near circle, gives up to Wheel. He sidesteps Ebbett. Ebbett still right in his back pocket. Ebbett pokes it off his stick, comes back to Schultz. His shot blockered away by Zatkoff, and it's Dumoulin to Kostopoulos. He'll knock it all the way down. They wave off icing, and the Penguins go for a change. Uer, Kuhnhackl, and Drowney staying together on a third line for John Hines. Schultz. Soft pass up the wall for Auger, intercepted by Kuhnhackl. Weird play there, a little bit of a tennis match as neither team able to get a clean rush through center ice. Uer, now he'll circle through the neutral zone. Try to dump in. Miller there to glove down. Now Uer and Shore come together right at the blue line. Uer falls down, and it's Shore trying to take advantage. Instead, Chorney breaks up the rush. Dumoulin to Kuhnhackl. Kicked over for Rowney, and it's Rowney just onside with Uer. Rowney tried to stick in on past Gravel, did so, but lost the puck in the process. And now it's Kempe. Knocked down to the ice, but not before that puck ever so slowly slides over to Gravel. Again, it's been all one and done, if that, for the Penguins on the chances. Can't argue with the ozone possession and the time of possession overall in the first period for the Penguins. That's been there. The second chances haven't, Colin.
No, and that's something that certainly head coach John Hines probably stressed. Look, we need to not just get in the offensive.
Speaking of which, a turnover by the Penguins as D put it right on the stick of Dowd, but his shot was blocked by Zatkoff, and a swing out the center, intercepted by Manchester. Delayed offside in the meantime, they'll touch up, and it's Pouliot. Resetting for the Penguins. To Uer. Nice pass back into the defensive zone for Goers. He's got some space. Up the wall for D. He'll one-hand in. But now he puts a shoulder into Gravel. Puck loose back in the trapezoid. D centers over for Rust. Rust fires. Saved by Berube, who is in perfect position to make the save. And again, no rebound given up, and the trend continues for the Penguins. One chance, and then done.
Brian Rust, one of those players that really, since coming back, has tried to find a way to contribute to this hockey team. Off the great pass, he goes right at Berube, who comes up with the save, now his 14th of the hockey game. But he does exactly what you said, Obi. Berube eats the puck, and he makes sure that the Penguins don't get that second or that third opportunity. There's not a lot of hack and whack going down there when you talk about a puck that might be floating around. So Berube doing exactly what he needs to do in order to keep the Penguins off the scoreboard. But for the Penguins, you talked about it before I almost missed the goal there, I missed the play. You talk about grinding it out when you get in the offensive zone. That's what head coach John Hines says. We got to grind it out. We got to be physical with this hockey team. We got to get our chances, and we have to find a way to get it past.
They win the offensive zone face-off. Sheary far corner. Kostopoulos trying to get it back over to Sheary. Laverde right there to take it away. Now pass by Ebbett. Finds its way over to Wheel. Bondarchuk drives the zone. Wheel in the high slot. Draw pass here for O'Neill. O'Neill toe drags in front. Comes around the net trying to stuff in. Blocked by the Penguins defense. And Ebbett back around the net. He puts it right on Wheel's stick. Wheel has Bondarchuk in front. Able to find him. Shot and a save by Zatkoff. As Bondarchuk so active on that rush, and Wheel almost found him on the ensuing chance.
Wheel just doesn't score. He can find his teammates as well. Bondarchuk was there, but it was Jeff Zatkoff, who's a seventh-year pro, third year with the Penguins organization. Great stick handling by Wheel, but it was Bondarchuk who got the shot off. It was some good defense by the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins with the Monarchs really buzzing in the ozone.
That's the first time we're really seen O'Neill, Wheel, and Mersch get it going. As Jordan Wheel, who is by far the AHL postseason leader with 15 points in 9 games. Again, a hat trick last night in the 5-2 victory in Game 4 for the Monarchs. Harrington make that Dumoulin off the wall for Kapanen. Kapanen, Rust, and Magna together. We haven't seen Nick Trzenovic in quite some time as Rust gets a body in his man. It's Magna still tracking down that loose puck. Far corner, Dumoulin with the poke check, but it's Horvat now skating one-on-one against Chorney. Chorney will force him to the outside, and Horvat able to muscle away, but a last-ditch effort to sweep it away by Chorney successful. Rust weaves by one. Rust stripped from behind by O'Brien. Now Magna trying to continue the pressure, and again, he couldn't control. Now it's Horvat. His clearing attempt kicked off the skate of Kapanen, comes back to Miller, and it's across circle to circle for Forbert. His up ice feed. Blocked down by D. Now D trying to sidestep his man Miller, swung in by Kapanen. Now we'll get the Penguins a line change as Farnham comes off the bench. And now Farnham intercepts a pass at the blue line. Had D in the slot, too hot for him to handle on that pass from Farnham. And Farnham another interception, but couldn't hold onside this time. Fluttering puck in the neutral zone. Turned back up ice by Goers. Goers finds it on his stick once again. Farnham circles away from the forecheck of Justin Auger. Farnham worked off by Vander Gulick, but not before sending it through center. And it gets by a tangle of legs before gathered by Gravel. 5 minutes played in the second. It remains 2-0 Monarchs. D from the red line. Knocked down to his knees. Still possesses the puck, however. And Goers and Dumoulin a little pitch and catch in their own end. Goers again. As soon as he accepts a pass from Pouliot, Adrian Kempe right on top of him. Rowney trying to accept the pass at the red line, and it was Gravel knocking aside. And it seems like whenever the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins are ready to take a pass, a Manchester Monarchs defenseman or forward is right there. Shot so far in the second period, 3-2 for the Monarchs, 14-9 for the Penguins through just over 25 minutes of play. Kostopoulos, right side for Rowney. Rowney onside, trying to stick handle by his man, poked aside, comes over to Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos back around Berube's net. Has Harrington set up in the high slot. Harrington couldn't handle that fluttering pass, and now the Penguins need to get back on defense. Rowney evens up the numbers along with Kostopoulos. Kempe's pass denied by Harrington. Harrington, though, couldn't control. We're going to have a penalty here on Sean Backman. Holding the stick will be the call, and the Penguins will go to the power play, trying to get on the board.
Something that the Penguins could use a little bit of jump here if they can find a way to capitalize on the Backman penalty with the man advantage now. But, Obi, you were right on when you talked about the fact that the Manchester Monarchs are making everything difficult, whether that's on the forecheck trying to get it through the neutral zone or even when the Penguins are in their offensive zone. There just seems to be a body everywhere for the Manchester Monarchs. They have their sticks down on the ice. They're closing lanes. They're finding ways to disrupt anything the Penguins are trying to do, making it very difficult to try to get a shot in on Berube.
The second power play of the game for the Penguins. They are 0 for 1. Ebbett, Pouliot, Kostopoulos, Sheary, and Dumoulin. Ebbett looking to win the faceoff, and Pouliot gets it over to Dumoulin. He'll fire! Glove save by Berube, and he'll hold on. The best save of the game so far for Berube as he robs Brian Dumoulin from the high slot.
Brian Dumoulin from the high slot had a chance there off the faceoff. If you look at the win off the faceoff and the quick pass to Dumoulin, Dumoulin fires, but there was Berube just snatching it right out of the air, coming up with his 15th save of this hockey game.
And Brian Dumoulin, a design play, accepting that pass in between the hash marks. And Jean-Francois Berube, one thing we've noticed about him is how good he's been with the glove. The blocker side, he's been susceptible, but that glove has been super strong here in round two. Now a pass to the blue line, intercepted by Shore. Shore starts up shorthanded with Crescenzi and Laverde. Shore, quick shot, blocked down. Now a second chance goes wide. Now Shore puts it off the outside of the net, and it's Ebbett up ice for the Penguins with 20 seconds gone here in the power play. Dumoulin to Ebbett. Flips over to Pouliot. Pouliot in front for Ebbett. Tip in, and a save by Berube once again. And Ebbett taking down the ice. Laverde trying to get control of the puck. Sheary up to the point for Pouliot. Lost it in his skates, and now he'll regather as he crosses back into his own end. Sneaky shot there by Ebbett, but a better shoulder save by Berube. In the slot it comes. Kostopoulos knocks off his man. Now Pouliot, he is sent off the puck. It's Laverde for Mersch. Not quite yet, as Laverde will loop back in his own end and is up by speed. Dumoulin trying to get over to Sheary. Sheary just onside. Around the Monarchs end, he'll fire that. Schultz trying to hammer up the wall. Kicks off of Magna. Now Magna in front for Dumoulin. His shot stopped by Berube, and he'll cover up once again with 48 seconds remaining in the holding the stick call to Sean Backman.
So the Penguins buzzing around on this power play, but if you're the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, you're looking at that goalie, number 35 for the Manchester Monarchs, saying, what's it going to take to get it past him tonight? Just the last three shots alone for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins on goal. Dumoulin point blank, Ebbett on a great pass from Pouliot, and then just moments ago, another save for Berube. And look, he's making it as difficult as possible. He was really guarding that goal for the Monarchs.
The Magna against Crescenzi, near circle, Monarch zone. Still plenty of power play time for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Rust, Kuhnackel, Kapanen, and Chorney also out there. Rust and Miller, they fight for the puck near corner. And lifted all the way down the ice by the Monarchs penalty kill. That's a strong play by Andrew Crescenzi. Zakov away from the forecheck of Dowd. Kapanen. Back over for Chorney. Chorney to the red line. Right wing for Rust. Rust whips in the corner. Forbert skates away from Kuhnackel. Left the puck behind. Now Magna trying to take advantage. Kuhnackel back in the trapezoid. Dowd over to Miller. Tapped in on Berube. Puck loose after a swat at by Kuhnackel. And finally Kapanen will set up. 12 seconds remaining in the power play. Rust near circle. Across for Kapanen. Now to Chorney. One-timer. Instead tapped over to Rust. Rust up towards the point. Now trying to spin one over to Chorney, but instead it's Backman coming out of the penalty box. He'll work over for Auger. Has wheel in front. Centering pass denied by Chorney, and it comes back over to Auger. Auger slowly up towards the blue line. Finds Bondarchuk open. His shot stopped by Zakov, and he'll hold on, and we will take a break. Penguins with 2 power plays. Nothing to show for it just yet. They remain down 2-0 with 11:48 remaining in the second on WILK News Radio.
Don't let an injury keep you on the sideline. Rely on the specialists of the Geisinger Orthopedic Institute, the official sports medicine provider of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. With the latest surgical and non-surgical treatment options, their specialists treat the most common to complex orthopedic and sports medicine injuries and conditions. To find out more or to schedule an appointment with Geisinger Orthopedics, call 1-800-275-6401 or visit geisinger.org.
WILK-FM, WILK-FM HD1 Avoca, WILK Wilkes-Barre, WBZU Scranton, WKZM West Hazelton, Northeast PA's News Radio, WILK.
Hello and welcome back. The Penguins still find themselves down 2-0. All the scoring coming in the first period, and Wilkes-Barre Scranton helped along by that last power play, now owning a 5-4 shot advantage in the second. 17-10 for the game, but Wilkes-Barre Scranton, a lot of shots passed up on that last man advantage, it felt.
Yeah, it felt like there was, and they were looking for that perfect opportunity and passing the puck around. And towards the end of that power play, you could hear the frustration growing, even from the Penguins fans in here. You know, let's get a shot on goal. The time is ticking down. Rust lost the puck, and then it went out of the zone, and a missed opportunity for the Penguins with the man advantage.
Monarchs back to 5-on-5 now as it's O'Neill in behind Zakov's net, trying to stuff towards save made by Zakov, and the rebound cleared aside. Meanwhile, Kostopoulos' stick ripped away by O'Neill. O'Neill not happy with the physical play from the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, but that's the way playoff hockey goes sometimes. As the Penguins clear out, Kostopoulos has his stick back. McNeil taking a little stick slash from Murch, but it's Harrington in behind Zakov to Kostopoulos. Rink wide for Ebbett. Nice lead pass for Sheary. Sheary across the blue line with Ebbett, but offside as Sheary just could not collect that pass out of his skates and time up that rush into the Monarch zone. Now 11-11 on the dot remaining in the second. And want to thank 2Jack Cycle and Power Sports on Cole Street in Wilkes-Barre for providing Tux with the awesome 2015 Can-Am Maverick XXC. Stop by 2Jack Cycle, only a half-mile away on Cole Street, to check out their inventory. 2Jack Cycle, your power sports authority. Meanwhile, the lone NHL game. Tampa Bay and Montreal in the first period down in Florida. Last time we looked in, no score at Amalie Arena. Still no score with 6:22 left. Goers will knife back in behind Zakov, looking for an outlet attempt. Instead, he'll give it up to Pouliot, who leads the rush to D, left side. D stops at the blue line, has Pouliot in the high slot, finds him, Pouliot wrist towards, and a chest save by Berube. Good setup there by the Penguins, but again, no rebound given up by the fourth-year veteran from Repentigny, Quebec.
Great sharp passing there by the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. D coming down the ice, not trying to do too much. You saw that Obi. He pulled up, he spun around, and he got Pouliot, who was charging in, getting the shot in on Berube. But for the 18th save of the game, all he did was just pull it in. Hey, he'll take the face-off in his own zone and take his chances as long as he finds ways to make sure that that puck does not get in the goal.
Browning against Shore, a false start. We'll do it again. Brownie, Kuhnackel, and Kapanen now together as a line. And looks like the near linesman, Shandor Alfonso, trying to back up Kunakle and Bodnerchuk. And a nice draw win there by Manchester. Shot out to center ice. Pouliot drags it to his forehand and calmly stick handles back into his own zone before feeding up for Kunakle. Kunakle will play it off the wall to himself. Beats Miller to that puck. Now, that's a slide pass for Rowney. Rowney all the way up towards the blue line. Trying to send a shot towards the front of the net. That's blocked by Nick Shore, and Pouliot waits for everyone to get on side before he backhands on in. Berube out from the trapezoid over for Vandergulik. Now Chorney off the bench, trying to even up a 2-on-1 rush. Does so. Near side for Vandergulik. His shot goes off at traffic, pops high up in the air, and drops down half wall for Shore. Now a turnaround shot. Blocked in front by Auger. His second chance stopped by Zakhoff. We're going to have a penalty here on Rowney upcoming. Touched up by the Penguins, and Wilkes Scranton to the power play. Make that the penalty kill with 9:58 remaining until the second intermission. With that, we will take a break. The Monarchs will be on the power play, their first one of the game, when we return on WILK News Radio.
At Jeep, a big part of what we do is keeping you connected to nature. Enter the award-winning Jeep Cherokee, named the 2015 Four-Wheeler of the Year by Four Wheeler Magazine. With up to 31 mpg highway, you can get lost in the remote place of your choosing. But reaffirming your oneness with nature requires a bit of effort on your part, too. So the next time you're heading to work in your Jeep Cherokee, deliberately miss your exit and just keep on driving. One drive and you'll discover why Jeep brand continues to be the best-selling SUV brand. Join us now at the Jeep Drive and Discover event. Well-qualified current lessees of competitive vehicles get a low-mileage lease on the 2015 Cherokee Latitude 4x4 with 28 mpg highway for $219 a month for 36 months with $24.99 due at signing. Tax, title, and license extra. EPA estimated 4x2 with 2.4-liter multi-air Tiger Shark engine based on total SUV sales in the past 12 months in the 2014 Awards Light Vehicle.
10 seconds.
1-888-925-Jeep for details. Requires state or contribution lease to Chrysler Capital. 25-cent charge for each mile above 30,000. Residency restricted supply. Take delivery by 6/1. Jeep is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Dangerous times here for the Penguins. Trailing 2-0, and the Monarchs, potent power play during the regular season, now it's all of a sudden finding success against the Penguins. Having struck twice in the series so far, the Penguins do not want to find themselves down by 3 against Manchester, but they open things off with a good face-off win to the left of Zadkov, and a clear out to center ice. All the way down, the puck comes. Ebbett and Megna fight for it near side. Ebbett able to dig it out from under the fallen Colin Miller. Pushes deep behind Berube's net. Now Megna able to force a turnover. McNeil will fire. Shot in on Berube. Save is made, and the rebound loose between the hash marks. Miller the only one there. Megna continuing to be a force here on the penalty kill, and he wastes a good half minute on this Manchester power play. And almost Reed McNeil able to fire that home. But now it's the Manchester Monarchs power play onside. To the point it comes for Wheel. Wheel fakes a shot. Gives it up to Miller, far point. Back over to Wheel, center blue line. Wheel near circle for Shore. Tipped in front for Murch. His shot stopped by Zakhoff. And the puck loose seemingly, but looks like Zakhoff actually had it. And the whistle will come, and some pushing and shoving will ensue.
Penguins not liking the fact that that whistle came a little late there, as Jeff Zadkov feels like he had the puck in there after the shot, and he just kind of got dragged around. He gloved it, and play continued, being pulled out of the goal, and finally the whistle is blown, but Tommy Kunakle getting a little shove, and he didn't take too kindly to that next to the boards.
It'll be 9:04 remaining in the second period. 1:06 left in the cross-checking call to Connor Rowdy. That came at 10:02 of the second. Ebbett, Megna, Goers, and Chorney back out on the ice for the penalty kill. Ebbett near circle against Dowd. Won by Dowd, but it gets all the way across the zone for Goers. Tried to lift out the center ice. Clearly offside on Laverde. Good call by Francis Trompe as he tried to get the angle, leaping across the blue line as he gloved down that fluttering puck, but no dice there for the Monarchs defenseman.
So the face-off's going to come outside the zone, which is good for the Wilkes Scranton Penguins. But you look at the way they've been able to penalty kill here. 101 left on the power play for the Manchester Monarchs. Solid PK by the Penguins so far.
And they win another face-off. Goers tracks down the loose puck behind Zakhoff. Banks it off the wall. Good keep-in by Bodnerchuk. Now Goers and Kempe. Race after. Chorney swings off the dasher, and a better keeping by Laverde on a bouncing puck. His long wrist shot blocked away by Zadkov. Goer's third effort does get out to center ice. Now the linesman blocking the clearing attempt all the way down. Kempe back on side with Backman. In the slot for Dow. Dow with a backhand feed and a save by Zadkov. Rebound still loose. Whipped to the blue line for Bondarchuk. Bondarchuk to Dowd. Dowd, left wing circle. Poked away by Megna. Megna trying to get after that loose puck, and he muscles it down the ice. Jason Magna has been a determined man on this penalty kill for the Penguins. This PK still with 10 seconds left on the clock. Murch will drag one across blue line. Spins away from the check. Sheary lost out to Wheel. Wheel up top for Gravel. Wrist shot blocked by Sheary. Comes back over to Wheel. Penguins back to full strength. Wheel and Harrington. They have the battle for the puck far side. Now, wrist shot from the far circle. Goes wide of Zadkov. Gravel doing the honors, and it's Kostopoulos. A chance to clear. Didn't have the lane, so we'll pass over to Harrington. And now Harrington high off the glass and drops down to the feet of Derek Forbert. Forbert on in behind Berube. He'll skate that puck now. Flings it up the far side. Dasher for O'Neill. Left wing for O'Neill. And Wheel and O'Neill offside. We'll get another whistle. 7:24 left in the second. 2-0 Monarchs, and an important penalty kill moments ago by the Penguins.
Sure, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins need to make sure they just have to keep this game at 2-0. Jeff Zadkov, since replacing Matt Murray, has done a very solid job as he's begun to settle in. He didn't have a lot of action early on when he took over, but he has, as of late, coming up with some key saves for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. They want to keep it within striking distance. You know, 2-goal leads are the worst to have, because just like that in the snap of a finger, if you can get on the board, the Penguins are right back in this game.
Pouliot with a swat up the dasher. Farnham looked to get after it, but out of his reach, and the ensuing wrist shot from the point. Glove saved by Zadkov. Meanwhile, update from out of town. Nikita Kucherov, the former Syracuse crunch forward, made it 1-0 for the Lightning with 4:25 remaining until the first intermission. That's where we stand right now. Lightning lead that best-of-7 series 3-2 over the Canadians. Michel Therrien trying to force the decisive Game 7 later this week.
I mean, you look at it, you got Michel Therrien, you got a familiar face in Bruce Boudreau, who used to coach the Hershey Bears, and then you also look at Todd Reardon behind the bench, former Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins coach for the Washington Capitals. Big Game 7 tomorrow night for the Rangers and Caps.
Battle for the puck in behind Zadkov. It was Auger and Dumoulin, the combatants, and the Penguins defenseman wins out, but now the clear out knocked down along the wall by Kempe. It's Dumoulin with Vandergrilik leaning in on him. Backhands to Rust. Auger takes away, and now it's Shore near corner. His pass to the blue line, picked off by Dumoulin, and good work by Dumoulin to stay strong on that puck after a long battle occurred deep in the Penguins' end. Rowney backhands around the wall for Rust. Auger gets body positioning, but it kicks off at his stick and down low for Rowney. Rowney couldn't cycle over to Rust. The Monarchs right now really doing a good job of denying that cycle pass, and more importantly, they're winning almost all the battles along the wall. Meanwhile, Uer will drop one down the trapezoid for D. D banks the blue line for Pouliot. Pouliot with a shoulder fake. Wrist shot towards Berube, bounces wide, and Goers comes down for the blue line to handle for the Penguins. Uer continues the support. D unable to hold onside the clearing attempt. It's Pouliot back at center ice. Over to D. D trying to get a step. D in front for a Kapanen. Shot never came off his stick, and it's the Monarchs breaking up ice. O'Brien 2-on-2 with Horvat. Horvat with a wrist shot goes off the glove of Zadkov and drops down for D to handle. Play opening up here in the second period. Uer drives past Gravel, now stops in the corner. Point pass for McNeil, back in the corner for Uer. Uer cycles around the wall. Ebbett's fresh off the bench. He'll get there first near corner. Now Ebbett. He circles away from Forbert in the slot for Harrington. His shot stopped by Berube, and the rebound touched up by Horvat on a delayed call. The Penguins going back to the power play as all of a sudden Wilkes-Barre Scranton has shifted into fifth gear, and they will head to the man advantage when we return. 5:18 left in the second. It's 2-0 Monarchs on WILK News Radio.
Hi, Wayne Van Scoy. If you're looking for that diamond engagement ring, I guarantee you'll see the largest selection Not only do we have the classic round cut, but the largest selection of princess cuts, emerald cuts, asher cuts, cushion cuts, pear shapes, marquees, and ovals, and other unique cuts. All in stock along with mountings ready for delivery. So shop where the Penguins buy their diamond jewelry at the Advanced Goys Diamond Mine on Monday Street in Wilkes-Barre.
Welcome back. The Penguins trying to get on the board and cut this Monarchs lead in half with their third power play of the game. 5:18 remaining until the second intermission. And again, not a critical time, but approaching that point, you do not want to be down by 2 going into the third period against the team that was one of the best in the American Hockey League during the regular season and now during the playoffs when holding the lead after 2.
Now you want to take advantage of your chances here for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins again and cut into this 2-0 deficit. And what we saw last night was the Penguins needed something good to happen, and then all of a sudden you saw that flash that they needed. This could be the big opportunity for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins right now to get something going here and get a little bit of momentum and get back in this game down 2-0.
Pouliot will take the face-off win, gets it to Dumoulin center blue line. He fakes a shot, now wrist towards, bounces off of traffic in front, and it's kicked over to Sheary. Nice pass in the blue line, and it's around the horn for Pouliot. Pouliot walks it down the wall, in front for Ebbett, backhand pass to Sheary. He fanned on the shot, now Sheary leaves it far corner for Kostopoulos. His pass to the blue line intercepted. Kostopoulos works hard to get it back, and he does so. Pouliot fires, that goes whistling wide. The long carom controlled by Sheary. Sheary backhands to the point. Pouliot accepts from Dumoulin. Pouliot to Dumoulin in a high slot. Shot goes deflecting wide, and it's Sheary. Swinging over to Kostopoulos. Push up towards the blue line. Good hold in there by Dumoulin. Pressure continues here for the Penguins power play. Sheary, far wing circle. Up top for Dumoulin one more time. Dumoulin to Pouliot. Pouliot has Kostopoulos in front, trying to force one through the slot. It goes off a shore stick, and he'll just get it off of Dumoulin's glove out to center ice. Penguins back on side. Dumoulin knocked down from behind, and that will be a clear out by the Monarchs. Vincent Laverde doing the honors. 42 seconds remaining in this man advantage. Second power play unit on the ice for the Penguins. Kuhnackel, rink wide for Pouliot. Pouliot wrists around the wall. Berube can't handle the trapezoid. Kuhnackel and Gravel. Pile far corner. Down trying to come in with the shoulder. Kuhnackel doing his best to kick it free. Magna in the mix. Time just melting away here on the Penguins power play. Finally, Gravel knocked to the ice, and it's Magna pulling it away from the pile. Chorney fires. That's blocked. Comes right back to Chorney. Now a captain near side for Russ. He'll fire. Glove saved by Berube, and the whistle will come. Magna was set up on the far post, and Russ tried to catch Berube cheating. No luck there. Well, with 8 seconds remaining on this man advantage.
You got to give the Penguins a lot of credit for their efforts, certainly on this power play, still with 8 seconds to go. You saw the beginning part of it. Kostopoulos winning along the boards, Dumoulin keeping a puck in, Pouliot getting a shot on goal, and then just moments ago, you saw Russ get trying to take advantage of Berube, maybe seeing if he would cheat a little bit to where Magna was, but he was not. And then you look at a guy like Vandergulik, again, blocking a shot. Look, the Manchester Monarchs are going to make you earn it on the power play, and the Penguins have been working hard. They just have not been able to find a goal.
Magna will face off against Shore. Just 8 seconds left here in the man advantage, but a face-off win. Goers, wrist in front. Right there was Kuhnackel. His shot blocked down. Second chance. Stepped in front of again by the Monarchs. And now it's Backman out of the penalty box. Heads up play by Chorney to make sure nothing came of that as that puck was rolling past the penalty box right as Backman stepped onto the ice. Berube. Backhands. Far corner for Miller. Now O'Neill. He is shoved off by Goers. Wheel able to catch up to the loose puck. 2 Penguins right on top of him. And it's Backman over to Wheel. Wheel feathers one towards the front. Zakhoff got a piece of that with his paddle. Now O'Neill tries to center. That pinball is off a leg. Goes up towards the point. Played into the corner for O'Neill. O'Neill shoved down by Goers. Somehow O'Neill still able to fire that puck deep. Now Kapanen. He turns over the wheel. Not the guy you want to turn the puck over to. And it's O'Neill. Keeping the puck onside. Wheel quickly cuts away from Magna, and O'Neill will drag it away. Pushes into the trapezoid for Wheel. Wheel will fling in front. Quick centering pass, and a shot goes wide from Auger. Wheel now left wall. Back behind the net. O'Neill took his time playing it, and McNeil says, I'll take that, and it's Kapanen. Slicing it down the ice. Huer trying to hold on side. He couldn't. Kapanen did for a brief moment. Now with 2 minutes remaining until the intermission. 2-0 Monarchs, in case you're just tuning in. Rust back at the point, poked away from him, and now a race for the puck. Pouliot and Harrington go after it. Diving effort by Harrington to sweep that away, and now flung back towards the front of the net. Instead, it's Harrington to D. He throws a shoulder fake in on Shore. Sheary, rink-wide pass, blocked by Vandergulik. Sheary, tied up by Vandergulik. Rust, he comes over to help out. Forbert to Shore, up to the blue line, intercepted by Pouliot. Pouliot, nice fake by his man. Pouliot will fire, sticked in front by Sheary. It goes off the rear glass. Now Rust turns off the wall. His shot goes off the crossbar, out of play, and we'll get a whistle with 81 seconds remaining until the break.
Derek Pouliot with some nifty stick work for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, but just could not capitalize on that. As you look at Derek Pouliot, a nice little fake and sneaks by and then fires, trying to get a deflection in. But for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, as Russ turns around and fires in on Berube, which goes out of play. They just keep churning. They keep trying to get shots on goal. Now 22 in the game, all of them turned away by Berube.
And again, no clean rebound chances for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Penguins do win the ensuing faceoff. Sheary with the wrist shot, and he scores! Connor Sheary has cut the lead in half for Manchester with 1:17 remaining until the second intermission. Connor Sheary with points in all 8 playoff games for the Penguins. A big one right before the break.
His 5th goal for Connor Sheary, 12th point of the postseason. We've talked about him over and over and over again. The young player just continues to rise to the occasion. Off the faceoff, gets the shot on net, puts his arms up in the air, and this crowd is into the game. The Penguins now on the board, down 2-1.
2-1 the score now with 1:10 remaining in the second. And the Penguins looking to turn momentum back in their way, but now Dowd onside. Last minute of play remaining in the second. Penguins unable to clear out. Finally, second effort does come out to center ice. Miller will hammer in. Zakhoff forced to make the save. And a glove down over for Chorney. Let's listen in.
Number 43, Connor Sheary. His 5th of the playoffs. Assist to number 8, Brian Dumoulin. And number 25, Andrew Abbott. Time of the goal, 18:43.
Now 25 seconds remaining in the second. To the late offside. It will be an offside here on the Monarchs. And this faceoff will come out to center ice. But who else but Connor Sheary? He's been the man all the way since last postseason for Wilkes-Barre Scranton, and he gets it done right before the break.
He gets it done in a big way for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. You felt like they needed to get one goal going into that third period. You didn't want to go into the third down 2-0. Now they're on the board, something to build off of with under 20 to play here in the second period and a full 20 to go in the third.
Harrington up for Kuhnackel. He's tangled up along the wall. It's Rowney sweeping down low with the loose puck. Around for McNeil, tapped up to Megna. He'll try and lob it out to center ice. No dice there. Rowney, dangerous path through traffic, but nothing to come of this dangerously for Wilkes-Barre Scranton, and the horn sounds for the second 20 minutes of hockey. Connor Sheary off a designed face-off play, scoring with 1:17 remaining until the second intermission, and the Penguins are within one as we get ready for the third. And Wilkes-Barre Scranton, we talked about the opportunities during the second period. Not many second chances, but on that face-off win, Connor Sheary and the Penguins needed only one chance.
They only needed one chance, and you had to figure at some point the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins would find a way. They've been trying all game long. I mean, you look at the shots on goal in that period, 13-11. So the Penguins right now are in a position where they wanted to be within strike. So it's the one-goal game. They needed something to burst that bubble, to pop the top for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, and it was the guy that's been doing it since the last postseason that found a way to get it done and beat Berube, and now you have an exciting 20 minutes of hockey to go. For the Penguins, it's win this game or go home. For the Monarchs, win it and advance. Get ready, Obi, buckle up.
Everyone knows the best fishing spots are the ones far off the beaten path. And when you've got a Ram 1500 with best-in-class 29 miles per gallon highway, you can discover those faraway gold mine fishing holes before anyone else does. It's that kind of uncompromising leadership that has more people driving Ram trucks than ever before. Join us now during the Ram Drive and Discover event. Well-qualified current lessees of competitive vehicles get a low-mileage lease on the 2015 Ram 1500 Express Crew Cab 4x4 with 21 MPG highway for $229 a month for 24 months with $24.99 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. Based on standard pickup class, EPA estimated 29 MPG highway based on available EcoDiesel V6 4x2 HFE model. Based on escalating total retail sales of calendar years 2009 through 2015. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details.
Hello, welcome back. Do or die time for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Mike O'Brien and Colin Rickabon here as we begin the third period of play. The Penguins down 2-1 in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinal. Win, and the Penguins force the series back to Manchester for Game 6. If not, it's the Monarchs making it back to Eastern Conference final for the third time in team history. Slap shot from Andrew Ebbett. Goes wide as Ebbett will get his own rebound near corner. McNeil unable to hold onside past Brian O'Neill, and it's Harrington giving chase right in front of Jeff Zadkoff. Zadkoff, a under-the-radar story here in this game as he came in relief of Matt Murray after he was pulled after the second Monarchs goal, and all Jeff Zadkoff has done has stopped 13 of the ensuing 13 shots. Chorney off the wall, gets it as far as the Manchester blue line. Schultz across for Miller. Now Dumoulin with a shove on Vandergulik, enthusiastically so, but Auger near corner, Penguins end. Shore up the dasher, nicely picked off by Uer. Uer eats a check along the wall. Chorney resets, delayed offside here on Manchester. Dumoulin, rink wide for Rowney. Rowney skates in on Miller, swats it over to Uer. Uer pokes it further for Rowney. Rowney and Miller cancel each other out, and it's Shore sweeping down low. Wristing out to center, and it's batted out of midair by Goers. Now to Uer. Again, he'll send it in the corner. This time Kunak will give chase. Stepped in front of by Dowd, and the loose puck couldn't be handled by Pouliot. Worked out the center. Uer wins the race against Adrian Kempe. As Uer one hands over to Goers. He'll cut away from the forecheck. Rimmed up by Pouliot. Rust high up off the glass, but not out the center quite yet. And Uer will help that along, apparently with a hand pass. And so the whistle will come. 1:47 into this third period. Penguins still down by 1.
That Connor Sheary goal at the end of the second period really changes the complete dynamic and energy in Mohegan Sun Arena tonight. You think back to last night where the position the Penguins were in. All of a sudden, 2-1 game, an elimination game for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Do or die, no matter how you want to put it. 18-13 left on the clock. The Penguins coming out with some good jump here in the third period.
The Penguins trying to make it back to the Eastern Conference final for the third consecutive year, but still 3 wins needed. As Magna tied up at center ice, that will nullify an icing call. And so it's Gravel in front of Berube net. Over for Wheel, rink wide for O'Neill. McNeil gets in his path. Almost interference there on McNeil as the puck cleared out the center. It's Laverty back in his own zone. Across for Bondarchuk. He'll hurl it into the Penguin side of things. Harrington and O'Neill give chase. Now it's Wheel and McNeil in the mix. And Harrington able to drag that puck away. Outlet attempt comes to D. He had a clear path out to center ice, but inexplicably circled back in his own zone. And now turn over the blue line. Down trying to do something with this. It's O'Neill. Far circle. Wrist shot goes deflecting wide as traffic developed in front of Zadkoff's crease. Now Laverty, defenseman. He's deep in the Penguin zone. He'll take it back to the blue line for Bondarchuk. Feather pass in the corner. Dowd cuts away, far post. Now one-timer from Bondarchuk goes off a D, out of play. And that was developing into something that didn't look too good for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, but they're able to get away and elude danger on that particular series.
Elude danger is right, and you look at the way the Manchester Monarchs, they were all about kind of spreading out, working along the boards, passing along the outside, and then just firing on net, maybe putting one player in the middle of the ice for a deflection. But for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, right now they're just going to have to grind it out and dig it out here as they take the face-off in their defensive zone.
And now up ice off a defensive zone face-off win by the Penguins. Quickly transitioned the other way by the Monarchs, but no one home in a Manchester uniform. Dumoulin over to Sheary. He kicks it back over to Ebbett. 3-on-2 here for the Penguins. Kostopoulos far corner. In front for Ebbett. What a save by Berube. Swung back towards the crease and again saved by the netminder as Kostopoulos knocked down by Horvat. 2 gotta have it saves by Berube, and he keeps it a 1-goal lead for his team.
Well, you're going to look back tonight at a play like that. That is a Sports Center moment right there. Look at this pass here by Kostopoulos to Andrew Ebbett, and Berube finds a way just to get the pad on it, but then Ebbett sticks with the play and throws the puck back towards the net. Berube recovers nicely to his number 35 and covers up the puck. That's the difference between winning and losing a game for the Manchester Monarchs. They've gotten it from Berube here in the third period. Circle that highlight and remember it at 16:42 in the third.
He's been very good in tight. Now Sheary takes a face-off win. He cuts in behind Berube's net. Over to Chorney. Chorney didn't have the shooting lane. He'll wrist down low. It bounces along for Kostopoulos near corner. Sheary following up on the play. Sheary cuts away from traffic. Over to Chorney. Tapped over to Dumoulin. Wrist shot. Goes off a body in front. Kostopoulos has the rebound. Kostopoulos up towards the blue line. And now Dumoulin trying to circle away from pressure. Wrists around the wall. Kostopoulos cycles for Ebbett. Ebbett on the right corner. Poked off of his stick. Goes right to the Penguins captain. Now Sheary in the slot. His shot goes wide. Back in front it comes for Ebbett. Backhand shot stopped by Berube. And again he'll hold on. 3:58 off the clock here in the third. The Penguins relentless so far to begin this final period of regulation.
And it's that line of Ebbett, Kostopoulos, and Sheary that has been buzzing and creating havoc around Berube, getting shots on goal, following shots. And what we're seeing now, Obi, is the rebounds that we did not see earlier, giving the Penguins some second chances and allowing them to sustain an offensive tack as they sit and they take this face-off in the O-zone.
The Penguins outshot the Manchester Monarchs 10-2 last night, but the Monarchs were leading 5-0 at that point. Manchester on their heels so far here in this third period. But they win the face-off to the left of Berube, lifted down the ice. This will be icing. Mersch cannot catch up to McNeil. And so Wilkes Scranton will line up for this draw to the left side of Berube.
If you know anything about a team coached by head coach John Hines, there is no quit. So the Manchester Monarchs, if they're going to earn a Game 5 victory and put this series to rest, are going to have to play the full 60. And so far in this third period, you've seen the Wilkes Scranton Penguins come out and are ready to take it to the Monarchs here over the final period.
Face-off won by the Penguins. Shot comes on net, and another quick whistle by the referee. And the draw will come to the left of Berube once again. I think Berube had plenty of time to cover that, despite the puck was still free.
Yes, much to the dismay of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins
fans
here.
They see the puck loose, they hear the whistle, and not too happy. Understandably so. Draw, left side of Berube, and for a third time it's won by the Monarchs. McNeil across the Blue Cross blue line for Rust. Up to Kunako it comes, but off the heel of his stick, and it rattles around in the Monarch side of things. Bondarchuk, lead pass for Wheel. Try to reverse direction for O'Neill. He turns over to McNeil. Now McNeil flutters it down low. Tapped along by Berube. Bondarchuk slingshots out from behind the net. Wheel turns over to Rust. Now Rust eludes a hook. Rust trying to fight through traffic. Just too many Monarchs in the way. And O'Neill drives up ice along with Wheel. Poked by McNeil, but Harrington definitely sidesteps the forecheck. McNeil to Rust. Rust knocked down by Schultz. Rowney trying to come through with the puck through the scrum. Still it's loose at center. Rust and Schultz, they don't want to let go, and Rowney will pull it back over to McNeil in the defensive end. Harrington up the dasher. Penguins unable to play as they are in the midst of a change. Looks like it made contact with someone heading to the bench. And now a shot from center ice saved by Zadkoff. Manchester wanted the too many men on the ice call, but no one clearly playing that puck as they went for a change.
14 saves now for Jeff Zadkoff in this game. And when you look at Jeff Zadkoff and you wonder why it's nice to have a backup goaltender, you think about what Jeff Zadkoff did for the Penguins in 2012, 2013, when he was 26-20. He had 18 wins this season for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. This is a guy, a veteran that you like to have in the net. And when he was called upon tonight, boy, has he done the job.
Magna trying to catch up to a loose puck at center, able to dump into the Monarchs end, but Dowd wins the strength test against D. D going to get called for a hook. And the Penguins will go back to the penalty kill as D just a little too aggressive on the forecheck. Got that stick in the midsection and right in front of the referee, an easy call for the referee to make.
So here's another pivotal moment, another critical moment for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Mark it down, 14:24 left here in the third period. They have to go with the penalty kill, something that has been done very successfully tonight for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. But this is a crucial moment in the game. D takes the penalty, a young player makes a mistake. All of a sudden now 2 minutes on the man advantage for the Manchester Monarchs. You can bet Coach Mike Stothers telling his team, look, we can really put some good breathing room between us and the Penguins if we can find a way to score here.
And a big face-off win and a shot that's saved by Zakov. He gets the cover. Just 6 seconds off the clock here on the power play. And a clean face-off win. The puck comes around the blue line, and a shot from the point fought off by Zakov. Luckily, the Penguins box out and allowed Zakov to get the cover on top.
So important to win the draws when you're in the D zone. And for the Manchester Monarchs, they're on the attack. They want to keep that puck in there as quick as possible.
This time the Penguins do win the face-off. McNeil up the wall, no one there except for Wheel. Wheel for Murch in the corner. He is sent to the ice by Harrington, but the Monarchs have possession of the blue line. It's Shore, far circle. Now up the wall for Miller. Miller across for Wheel. Wheel looking for that circle-to-circle pass. Magna all over him. Point pass just held onside by Miller. Now wristed over to Wheel. Wheel stick handles away from pressure. Over the shore it comes. Through the slot, no one home. Wheel will catch up to it. Poked away by Harrington and shot out by Ebbett. Penguins penalty kill so far, keeping everything to the outside, and Jordan Wheel unable to make magic happen just yet. O'Neal quickly onside, looking for Shore. Turned over to Kuhnackel, and he'll lift it down the length of the ice. Laverde stops in the trapezoid. Kuhnackel, Rowney, Goers, and Chorney. The Penguins have yet to score a shorthanded goal here in the playoffs. I think this would be a fine time for one. Shot wide of Zakov's net. Goers checked off by Backman. Chorney comes in the mix. Down, drags away from pressure. Tried to center, blocked by Rowney, and he'll push it down the length. 35 seconds left in a power play for the Monarchs that's seemingly gone on forever. Bodnerchuk to the right side for Dowd. Backhands, right wall for Backman. Quick slap shot, save made by Zakov, and he'll go diving onto the loose puck. Zakov has seen that puck pop out of his glove a couple times, but luckily he's been able to get these second chances and freeze them.
Yes, Jeff Zakov, again, does not want to give the Manchester Monarchs, who seem to find ways to be at the right place at the right time to push pucks in the net. Look, that shot in there is saved, but it bounces right out of the glove. But Jeff Zakov, the veteran goalie that he is, jumped right on that puck, made sure he had it in his glove, not letting it fly around outside in front of him. That's when bad things can happen. Jeff Zakov tonight, really just a strong effort.
Ebbett now with 22 seconds left and a call to D. Ebbett and Wheel, they can't judge it out, and the Penguins will clear out. Now was Harrington coming in the scrum and digging that puck free. Berube away from Ebbett. Now Kempe, outlets for Wheel. Maybe a chance for one last rush. Wheel onside. Wheel sends it towards Zakov and cleared away after a save by the netminder. The Penguins back to full strength. D out of the penalty box with 12:20 remaining in the third. It's 2-1 Monarchs. Now Kostopoulos almost forces a turnover in front, but Forbert was there to get it back for the Monarchs. It's D to Dumoulin. Whisked up ice for Sheary. Knocked over to Kostopoulos. Pouliot sent down the ice by Vandergulik. Now it's Sheary, stepped in front of by Forbert. Out to the neutral zone it comes. Pouliot regathers here for the Penguins. Cast along for Dumoulin. Over to D. D will stop the blue line, backhand deep, and head to the bench for a change. Kostopoulos shoves off Gravel. Sheary gets a body in on Vandergulik. And now Kostopoulos in front. Who's without their helmet? That's Gravel. Forbert over to Vandergulik. Pouliot wins the race. Unable to get it by the fallen Vandergulik along the wall, and a fortuitous bounce hits Auger in stride. He is hipped off by Sheary. And it's Rowney. Over to Dumoulin. Kostopoulos and Laverde getting into it away from the play. It's Dumoulin. Turning over to Shore. Now Shore onside. Dumoulin trying to wrestle the puck away from him. Centering pass denied by Dumoulin. And it's back behind the net for Backman. Backman to the point it comes for Bondarchuk. Wrist shot tipped in, and what a save by Zakhoff as Kempe got free near post. Backman and Kempe along with Shore. Shore, his shot stopped by Zakhoff. Where is it? It bounces over to Rust. Rust weaves away from the pressure. Now Rust met by Laverde in front of the Monarchs bench. Line change time here for the Penguins. Goers intercepts a puck at center. Flips on in. It's Laverde away from D. Now Magna trying to get there. Chorney comes down for the point. Knocked away from him. Kempe slides it around the net. And O'Neill being double shifted along with Wheel. And now Michael Murch. Wheel gets by Goers. Not by Chorney though. Wheel somehow pulls free with the puck. Wheel into the high slot. Gives it up to Schultz. Schultz across for Miller. His slap shot gloved out of midair by Zatkoff, and he'll hold on. Timeout on the ice. Penguins still trail 2-1. This is Wilkes-Barre Scranton Hockey on WILK News Radio.
Thinking about college? Then think about King's College. King's offers professional preparation for today's most rewarding fields, from healthcare and business administration to education. At King's, classes are small, providing opportunities for discussion, interactive learning, and individualized attention from your professors. King's College will give you the tools to succeed while you're there and long after you graduate. You'll gain more than an education. You'll learn the values of a lifetime. Call 570-208-5876 or visit kings.edu/admissions.
Vans Top Business Solutions will help you copy, scan, print, fax, and retrieve everything you need to work smart. Visit them at www.toppcopy.com. Penguins still looking for that equalizer. Plenty of chances. Andrew Ebbett, part of a flurry to open up the third period of play, but the recent penalty kill, strong though it was, has kind of stemmed the tide for Wilkes-Barre Scranton.
It has stemmed the tide, and you needed the penalty kill to come through right there. That was an opportunity for the Manchester Monarchs to get a little breathing room, but the Penguins didn't really allow them to get any shots on goal, didn't really allow them to really create any productive opportunities. So you got to give credit to the PK. But Andrew Ebbett, one of those players you talked to before the game, he talked about needing to contribute more, needing the veterans to get out there and raise the level of their game. You've seen it from Andrew Ebbett here in the third period.
Face-off coming left side of Zatkoff. Harrington takes a puck right off O'Neill's stick. Kostopoulos wings it up for Sheary. Now over to Ebbett. Banged away from him. O'Neill, in turn, banged into the wall by Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos playing that physical game. He needs to make sure he stays on the edge and doesn't cross the line. McNeil now back over to Harrington. Harrington up for Sheary. Missed him on the pass. He got a piece of it, though, so no icing. Schultz knocked down by Kostopoulos, but unable to do anything with it as Kostopoulos lost his edge as well. Auger slowly through center, off the wall to himself. Vandergulik set up in front, now has it behind Zakhoff's net. Vandergulik over to Auger, it comes. Centering pass, bounces back to Forbert, and his slap shot goes whistling wide. Ebbett looks to clear. Good hold on side by Gravel. Second effort by Ebbett. Able to get that out to the neutral zone. Hurled back in by Vandergulik. We're past the midway point of the third. Megna off the bench. We have not seen a lot of Drzenovic, Kapanen, or Farnham in this game, as John Hines has shortened the bench here for the Penguins as they look for the game-tying goal. Megna just onside, and now looks to drive by Forbert. Megna gets by Gravel. Rust fans on the pass to the point, and it's O'Brien out to the neutral zone, regathered by Dumoulin. Banked up for D. Swatted on in. Berube will let the puck go in behind the net as Megna, Rust, and D all get after it. D able to intercept the pass along the wall. Tipped in by Rust. That goes wide. Puck still loose, and Berube doesn't get it. Instead, it's O'Brien reversing direction around for Gravel. Shore was trying to get behind the defense. That is read and picked off by Chorney. Now Chorney with his teammates in line change. He is onside. Chorney waits for everyone to join him in the offensive zone. Turnaround shot. Berube with the save. And another whistle will come, and another timeout will follow. We'll take a break. 8:27 left in the third period. When we return, Colin gets a talk on WILK News Radio.
Welcome to Master Travel, your one-stop center for all your corporate and leisure travel needs. We offer you the lowest rates in the area with no additional service fee for our expertise. Our certified cruise counselors, Disney, and group tour specialists will help you plan your family vacation, cruise, or honeymoon. We offer all-inclusive packages and more. For personal service and attention to every last detail of your trip, just call Master Travel today.
At McCarthy Tire and Service Centers, we have some impressive numbers. After 87 years, we're the 7th largest commercial tire dealer in the U.S. with over 40 locations in 7 states. Right? So what? Well, the numbers just mean you can always count on a huge selection of tires, ASE certified repair and service, and most of all, you can count on us handling every tire and service as if it was for our own family. Locations in Wilkes, Kingston, Hazleton, and Scranton, or online at McCarthyTire.com. McCarthy Tire, count on us.
Welcome back. 8:27 left in regulation. Penguins trail 2-1, and as promised, Colin, your thoughts?
28-26 on the shots in favor of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. But, Obi, if you've noticed, in the last couple of minutes, things are getting a little more aggressive out there. The checks are a little bit harder. You see Tommy Kostopoulos, the captain, he's going out there. He's making sure the Monarchs remember his number when he hits them. And across the board, these two teams realize there's 8:27 left. For the Monarchs, it's, look, we need to raise our level because we want to end this series. We don't want to give the Penguins any life. For the Penguins, they're playing for their season. They hear the fans. They are energized, and they really are, again, being just a little bit more aggressive and in attack mode, and they've been that way for the last couple of minutes.
Face-off will come to the right circle of the Monarchs' end, and this one is won by Manchester. O'Neill, Wheel, and Merch, and you're going to be out there for a ton of time. Harrington skates it on Merch. Low shot, and a save by Zakov, and the rebound gloved out of midair by Zakov, held on to. 27th shot of the game by Manchester, outshooting the Penguins 8-5 here in the third, and this is where we talk about the effectiveness of the Monarchs when leading after 2. They're able to shift it into a higher gear, put the pedal to the metal, and just 5 shots for the Penguins so far.
When you have a line with Wheel, O'Neill, and Mersch, you see that how quickly Mersch gets down the ice and gets a shot in on Zatkov. They can really turn it around quickly and stem the tide and turn the tide fast against their opponents.
Harrington being leaned in on by Mersch. Ebbett will dump over to McNeil. Kostopoulos knocked off the puck by pinching Andrew Bondarchuk. Now turnaround shot from the sidewall by Mersch, stopped by Zatkov. Kostopoulos waits and holds. Calmly plays it behind the net for McNeil. Harrington. Now stretch pass collected by Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos weaves away from Bondarchuk. In deep for Ebbett. Sheary, far circle. To the point, it comes from McNeil. McNeil looking for a shooting lane. Didn't have it. Now we'll dump it down low. Berube tries to play it away and then thought better of it and gets the cover on top.
He saw number 29 and 25 and Kostopoulos and Ebbett just kind of circling around the back of the net there, but that was a great stretch pass. And you see the captain of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins with some great stick work to take that pass in to make sure it got in the zone and set the Penguins up before he leaves the ice here on a line change. And now you're going to see Kapanen come out with Rowney and Kuhnhackl.
So John Hines looking for a little offense from the 18-year-old rookie. Rowney and Kuhnhackl out there as well. Pouliot and Goers on the point. And the face-off initially won by the Penguins, but now taken back by the Monarchs. Miller turns it over to Pouliot. Pouliot wrist towards the front. That went off the post as Rowney was setting a screen in front. Miller taken off the puck this time by Kapanen. Kapanen playing professional hockey right now, definitely upping his game here in Game 5. Put a shoulder in on his man. Pouliot unable to collect, and it's cleared all the way down by the Monarchs. This puck will just die before the goal line, and Goers will up man for Rowney. Rowney and across the blue line, giving up to Kapanen. His shot whizzes by. Kuhnhackl, left point for Pouliot, trying to rim it around for Goers. And now Goers, far corner for Rowney. No support there for the Penguins as they're in the midst of a change. Less than 7 minutes remaining in regulation. Manchester still on top 2-1. It's been that way since the end of the second period as Connor Sheary getting one right before the break. Now Chorney loops out from behind the net. Nice lead pass from Magna. Magna with a wrist shot from the circle that goes off a stick out of play. Magna trying to use his speed, but the long reach of Derek Forbert standing at 6'5". It's amazing when you look at this defensive core. Forbert, 6'5". Gravel, 6'4". Schultz, 6'6". And there's not a lot of space when you have those tall defensemen and the long reach there on the back line.
And listen, that's a benefit complete to the Manchester Monarchs defensive core there. You're right, the room and the space that you can create with shrinks drastically when you talk about the reach of those tall defensemen.
Wheel this time against D. Magna will take the puck away in the faceoff circle. His shot blocked nicely by Bondarchuk. Dowd looking to clear out the center ice. It just gets over the head of D, and Chorney will quickly slap it the other way for Magna. Back to Chorney, he'll return that pass. Cast up the wall and into the Monarchs end. Penguins switch up. 6 minutes remaining in regulation. Wilkes-Barre Scranton still looking for the game-tying goal. Kostopoulos off the bench. Ebbett as well, along with Sheary. Ebbett ties up his man, and it's Kostopoulos. Up to the point, hard pass for Pouliot. Pouliot side steps wheel. Pouliot all the way around Berube's net. Far side point for Goers. Now Sheary in the high slot. He risks towards. That's nullified by Murch. Laverde a chance to clear. Ebbett stops it for Sheary and push back down low for Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos to Ebbett. Ebbett, center blue line for Goers. Now far side for Pouliot. He winds up, fires glove, saved by Berube, calmly holding on to that one with 5:34 left in this third period. We will take a break. Do or die time for Wilkes-Barre Scranton when we return on WILK News Radio.
Guys, did you know the Woodhouse Day Spa is not just for women? It's the perfect place for guys just like you. And you're invited to relax and unwind through services designed.
Do I have time for an idea?
You.
Sure.
The Woodhouse therapists use therapeutic techniques to release tension, eliminate knots, and relax the muscles. You'll feel like a different person when you leave. Nothing compares to the Woodhouse Day Spa, the preferred massage provider of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Call today for an appointment or go online at kingston.woodhousespas.com.
WILK-FM, WILK-FM HD1 Avoca, WILK Wilkes-Barre, WBZU Scranton, WKZM West Hazleton, Northeast PA's News Radio, WILK.
Hey guys, if you're looking for that engagement ring or any diamond gift for that matter, you got to go to Vanscoy Diamond Mine on Mundy Street. That's where the Penguins go. It's their preferred jeweler. They have a great layaway plan or interest-free financing. That's at Vanscoy Diamond Mine on Mundy Street, just below the Wyoming Valley Mall. That's on Mundy Street on Mundy Street. Hoping that I get to read that one a couple more times this season at least. Sheary, Kostopoulos, Ebbett, Goers, and Pouliot coming out of the promotional timeout. Right circle draw. Andrew Crescenzi, the face-off specialist for Mike Stothers. Taking this one against Ebbett. And it's won by Crescenzi and cleared out the center. Pouliot backtracks, missed Ebbett on the up-ice feed. Schultz rims high off the glass. Zakov will settle it down in the trapezoid. Almost played it outside the goaltending area, but still able to find Ebbett. Has cleared out the center and quickly dumped back in. Goers for Pouliot. He circles away from Backman. Goers banks up for Sheary. Sheary lost it at the blue line, but still has a presence of mind to force it back for Pouliot. Kostopoulos, far side point. And Pouliot shifts it around the boards for Sheary. Sheary sidesteps his man. Trying to center right there is Ebbett. Across the slot for Pouliot. He never saw the pass coming. Now Chorney able to elude Vandergulik, and Chorney takes it back on side. He's rubbed off by Auger. Chorney still working hard towards the puck. And now will retreat to the defensive stance. Kuhnackel just able to hold it on side, but no, it does come out the center ice. And the whistle will ensue. 4:33 remaining in this third period. 233 seconds. That's a lie. 273 seconds to be exact.
Your math.
My math. Science. Math.
When you look at Andrew Ebbett, when he skated over to the bench, he shook his head when he took his mouthpiece out because he knew Connor Sheary and himself nearly found a way to tie this game, and Derek Pouliot just did not see that pass coming in front of Berube. So with 4:30 to go, the Penguins still down a goal.
O'Neill. Wheel and Murch out there now. Wheel and O'Neill have been double shifted all game long. Sometimes it's been Dowd, sometimes it's been Murch, but now it's Harrington starting up ice along with Rust, D, and Magna. This puck will come in on Berube as Harrington tried to tighten things up across the blue line. Couldn't connect with Rust, but he does net an offensive zone draw for the Penguins.
Which is important. Obviously, right now, the Penguins want to win this draw, keep it in the offensive zone. But if you look at it, the players now skating up, they are keeping their distance. They don't want to be the guy to be just a little over-aggressive and find their way into the penalty box, giving their opponent an unnecessary power play. So right now, an important offensive zone draw for the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins as time continues to tick down here with them down a goal.
Ebbett, Dumoulin, Kostopoulos, Sheary, and Chorney. So this is the go-to line and combination for John Hines. As the face-off, drug free by Sheary. His shot never reached the front of the net. Too many bodies in front. Kostopoulos and Bondarchuk. Poked away. It comes to the point for Chorney. Chorney's wrist shot towards Berube. Tipped in. Puck still loose. And shot out to center. Will be caught up to by Chorney. He circles away from Crescenzi, but good poke check away by Crescenzi. It's Dumoulin for Sheary. No extra attack or empty net just yet here for Wilkes-Barre-Scranton. Kostopoulos around the wall. Ebbett contends with Forbert. And now it's Sheary out of the near corner. Uses Kostopoulos as a pick. Dumoulin met by Wheel. Tried to return it to Sheary, but he was not in the area. Line change time here for the Penguins. 3:30 left in regulation. Sheary over to Goers. And now Goers cuts away from Auger. Pouliot, who is the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins' leading scorer for much of the first half of the season. And a puck deflected out of play as Auger had an awkward collision. Looks like that was with Rowney. Stoppage will come.
You can feel the tension in this building right now, Obi. A one-goal game, 3:14 to go. The Penguins out shooting the Monarchs now 29-28. But this has been a strong third period by the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins. There have been so many almost moments for the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins in this period to try to knot this game up. Just haven't been able to capitalize or cash in.
Shore and Rowney. Center ice face-off and one cleanly for Schultz. Schultz trying to wrist along the wall. Blocked by Goers. Pouliot. Rink wide. Nice collection by Kapanen. Kapanen trying to stick handle by Schultz. That's not a winning proposition, but now Kuhnhackl on the forecheck is. Kuhnhackl skates away from Miller. Kuhnhackl throws it across the goal mouth. It bounces up to the point. Goers tried to one-hand in, but lost control, and the Penguins forced to regroup in the neutral zone. Goers to Kuhnhackl. Swatted up towards center ice. Came off of Schultz's glove. Right back to Kuhnhackl. He'll lay on in, and the Penguins go for a mass line change. McNeil, D, Megna, Rust, and Harrington off the bench. 2:33 left in regulation. Up ice pass, they say no icing as the Manchester Monarchs unable to connect. But now it's Harrington blocking a pass from Wheel. It comes back to Wheel off the wall. Harrington gets in his way. Wheel just trying to trap that puck and waste as much time as possible. Mersch drags it away and rims around the wall for Laverde. Laverde's shot. More of a pass intended for Mersch, and he's able to connect. Harrington kicks over to Megna. Megna able to get it by Bondarchuk. Now Megna knocked down. No call coming at this point. Wheel. Far side blue line. The Penguins unable to get out to center ice. Harrington with less than 2 minutes remaining. To McNeil comes. McNeil for Harrington. Has Megna free at center ice and finally able to find him. Now Megna. Rink wide for Sheary. Off the tip of his stick. Sheary tying up Laverde. Down. Over to Forbert. Up ice, Kostopoulos steps in front of Auger, but not before he clears the zone. 90 seconds remaining in regulation. The Monarchs lead 2-1 here in Game 5. Zakov about to head to the bench for the extra attacker. Rim into the zone for the Penguins. Comes free off the wall, held onside by Kostopoulos. Kostopoulos near corner to the point for Dumoulin. Dumoulin across the 20, he fires, and it goes wide. Sheary back behind the net. Sheary centers in front, it goes off in traffic. Back to the point for Dumoulin. Dumoulin, wrist towards the front, puck down, right there's Russ. Can't get a clean shot in on net. Kostopoulos near corner once again. 1 minute remaining in the third. Chorney out of his skates and around the wall once again for Kostopoulos. Rust to Kostopoulos. He waits and holds along the half ball. Up top for Dumoulin. Near circle for Kostopoulos. Shot deflects wide. Chorney to the loose puck. 50 seconds remaining in regulation. Rust trying to swat it around the wall. Cleared up the dasher. It comes out to center ice. Chorney steps in front of his man. No penalty coming. Penguins get quickly back on side. Dumoulin in deep. Schultz fires up. Comes over to Backman. He'll lift it out towards the red line. Pouliot gloves down. Almost turns over the shore. Now 28 seconds remaining in the third. One last rush here for the Penguins. Ebbett Spins it up the wall, just on side of the Penguins. Pouliot has Russ in front, couldn't get it to him. Still loose, Bondarchuk far corner. 16 seconds remaining. Kapanen digs after it, as does Pouliot. Pouliot around the wall, 10 seconds remaining. Rust trying to get to the blue line. Kapanen does. Dumoulin, wrist towards the front of the net, blocked down, comes over to Rust, 3 seconds. Rust over to Kapanen, he fires it wide, and the horn will sound. And the Manchester Monarchs fend off the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins to take a 2-1 victory, and they will move on to the Eastern Conference Final for the third time in team history. The Penguins unable to force a Game 6 in Manchester, and the 16th season of Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins hockey comes to a close.
Oh, an exciting last couple minutes for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, really early on getting plenty of shots on Berube. But the Monarchs finding ways to fend off that offensive attack by the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. And in the end, it's Berube making some key saves. And if you look at some of the time that was taken off by the Manchester Monarchs by fighting it out, as the Penguins fans salute their team here for a great season. Again, for head coach John Hines, comes to a disappointing end tonight in Game 5 against the Monarchs. But certainly a salute for what they've been able to accomplish this year here for this fan base. Look, Obi, you look at that time that the Manchester Monarchs ate up by just keeping the puck in the zone. They found ways to keep it in their own offensive zone and off the Penguins' attack. And at the end, time just ran out on the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins.
And so the handshake line will ensue to officially signal the end of this series. Wilkes-Barre Scranton falling behind the Manchester Monarchs 2-0 in the first period and unable to get that equalizing goal. Connor Sheary, the lone tally in this contest, and the best team in the American Hockey League, showing perhaps why they were exactly that during the regular season. And they will wait for the winner of the Hartford Wolfpack Hershey Bears in the other Eastern Conference semi-final series.
Oh, well, you talk about tonight, you look at the two goalies, in Berube and Jeff Zakoff shaking hands tonight. Certainly something, and as Matt Murray is right behind him as well. Just a hard-fought game between these two teams. I mean, one team was fighting to advance, the other team was fighting to keep their season alive. And, you know, certainly for this Penguins team, look, tonight they kept the big guys off the score stat sheet again. Murch, Wheel, and O'Neill did not find their way on, but and as these fans continue to salute Obi, I mean, you're really, as the players now saluting the fans, look, Manchester came in as advertised, one of the best teams in the league, and they got the job done.
They get the job done, and so in Game 5, a 2-1 final for the Monarchs, and the Penguins will head into the offseason, disappointingly so, but not for lack of effort here in Game 5. And Manchester, when it's all said and done, perhaps on paper and on the ice, the more talented team, and the Penguins just unable to match what the Monarchs were able to throw at them here in this series. And with that, we will take a break. When we return, Colin and I will break down tonight's contest during the Penguins postgame report on WILK News Radio.